Welcome to Cooking with Papatucks in Papatucks Kitchen. We got us up a special we're doing today, and this is an Indian dish from India, and I think this is the second Indian food that I've done up, and I've been cooking this for many years. I've changed a few things around, but this one is not as spicy as the last one. So let's get this thing going. First of all, you're going to need some peanut oil. You can use green olive oil also, okay? You're going to need about 2.5 pounds of chicken, okay? You're going to need an eggplant, about that size right there. You're going to need a red pepper and an orange pepper, okay? And a cauliflower head, okay? I picked all this stuff up down to produce. 2 onions, medium size, Spanish onions. I love using Spanish onions. You get a can of chickpeas. I forget what size here. This is a 15-ounce can of chickpeas going into this. I've got 2, and I pre-cooked the rice. You're going to want to do that too. I've got 2 cups of brown rice going into this, and I used Uncle Ben's. Yeah, I love Uncle Ben's rice. You've got some. I'm using Greek yogurt. Okay, this is a plain non-fat yogurt, and you're putting about 8 ounces of yogurt into this. This is a 16-ounce, so I'm going to put half of this in, okay? And what we got here, we've got some cilantro going into this, not very much. We've got some ground ginger going into this, and we've got some ground cumin going into this. We're also going to put a can of diced tomatoes into this, and this is a 28-ounce can going into this. And we've got a little bit of black pepper going into this. I picked up some fresh ginger. You're going to be using about a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ginger in this, okay? And you're going to be using 4 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, okay? And a little bit of parsley. I like to use fresh parsley in this, but I didn't see any real good fresh parsley at the stores today, so I'm going to be using some dried parsley, okay? So I'm going to get this going by first putting a little bit of oil in my Presto. And I'm going to cook up the onions. I'm going to slice the onions up. I'm going to cook the onions and the garlic first. I'm going to sort of brown them, but not brown them. I'm going to get them so that they're tender, but I want to catch them before they start browning real heavy, okay? So let me get some of these things out of the way so that I can get cutting up my onions. These over here. This over here. This over here. That's going to be for my ginger, my little utensil. Put that right over here. Back that out of the way. And I'm going to cut my garlic up here in a minute, but let's get the oil in here and start bringing this up to temperature. And I'm going to put this at about 250. And that's plenty right there. Let me get that oil right out of here. Put that right back there. And I'm going to put that at about 250. Presto at 250. Okay. And set up, and there we go. That's it. I'm going to put the top on there. Okay, I get the cup out of the way, and we get the garlic cut up. There we go. I'm all skinned up. Now, I got a show coming up that we're going to be doing pretty soon, and it's with a girl. And I haven't met her yet. I talked to her grandmother. We're actually going to be doing a show with her grandmother, and we're going to be doing a show with her. 2 different shows. We're probably going to do that, I don't know, mid-spring. And this girl, I guess, is from Oak Bluffs here on Martha's Vineyard. And she's going to college, of course, and she's been putting herself through college by selling knives, cutlery knives. And she's really, really, really good with these knives. So we're going to do a show with her. And then we're going to be doing a special show with her grandmother. And she has a really, really, really nice clam chowder that she does up. And you know, the traditional clam chowder here on New England, of course, is New England clam chowder. She does a Manhattan clam chowder, which is very hard to come by here on the island. I haven't seen it there in very many restaurants here. And I love Manhattan clam chowder. So this recipe comes from her great grandmother that was an Indian squaw. She was brought up on an Indian reservation somewhere on the the Atlantic coast. I'm not really sure, but we're going to find out when we interview her. And we're actually going to go to her house and do a show with her. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let me get this garlic cut up and put into this dish. We get this baby browning up. Oh yeah, smell that garlic. There we go. All right. And let's just dice them up a little bit more than that. Now you can use garlic out of the jar too down the store, but I like to use fresh. Look at that. Nice. Get the skin out of there. And I'm going to get these put right into my Presto. That's starting to come up to temperature because I can hear it bubbling. Oh yeah. So in goes the 4 chopped garlics. And we're going to hurry up and get the onion diced up and get that in there. Get the skin off it. There you go. Listen, when you're out there at the grocery store getting all these ingredients for their meal that you're going to cook up, check and see if they've got a food pantry box. And throw some dried food or canned foods into the pantry box for the hungry. Our hungry people in our country really, really need it. Look at that. Now you notice how I cut that onion up. I cut it in half and set the half down so that I could have a flat part to cut this baby up in. Look at that. Let's get them babies right in there. Get the skin out of the way. Look at that. Now turn that down a little bit to about 225. Get this other onion cut up. Get that in there and get cooking. There we go. Now what we'll do is we'll stir that around just a little bit and start browning that mixture up. There we go. And I got just a little bit of oil in there, okay? Not a lot, just a little. I may add just a little bit more, but that right there is ideal. Yeehaw! Them onions bring tears to your eyes. Okay, let's get that right there. We got one more onion going in there. I'll get that cut up and I'll be right back. All right, and we've got our onions and garlic in here browning up. And while that's coming up to temp and getting nice and tenderized, we are going to get our peppers cut up. So let me put that over there. Our eggplant out of the way. I'm going to cut the tops of these peppers off, like so. And I'm going to pull the seeds out. We don't want no seeds going in there. Bingo! Then I can actually break the tops of these right off. We'll throw it right into the bowl here, so they're not wasting it. We'll put that aside. Now, I'm just going to slice these up a little bit. We're not going to do too crazy. This is more of a color thing. Of course, the flavor too, but the color that it puts into this meal is awesome. So let's get the red pepper done up. Get the seeds out of it just like so. Bingo. Cut it up, throw it in. Do these babies in a long ways. There we go. Nice. Cut them once in half. There we go. And get them into the bowl. All right. Let's check our onions and garlic. We don't want to burn it. Oh, that's cooking up nice. Let's just leave that go. And we're going to cut our eggplant up and get that all ready. And we washed our eggplant off real good. We'll cut the top of it off. Just like that. And we're going to slice this eggplant up into about 1/4 inch slices. Just about like that right there. About 1/4 inch. Okay? We're going to throw that right into our mix. Just like that. I love eggplant. And cooked with the proper ingredients, eggplant can be delicious. Depends on how you spice it up. Look at that. And there's actually, people don't realize it, but there's quite a few dishes that you can do with eggplant. There it is. We'll throw that in, throw the ends away. Bingo! And we're going to put that right in there. That's all cut up and ready. And we have cauliflower going into this. So let's get our cauliflower opened up. I'm going to go over and wash this off. Look at that. Cauliflower. Let me go wash it. Now, I love cauliflower. I actually like this steamed. You put it on, you steam it all up, put it in a dish, and then throw some like Velveeta cheese on it. But let's get the cauliflower broke off of here. Just like that. Get the greens off it. Like that, and just put the spears in there. Now how I do it is I cut it right around the corners like this, and it just falls apart. Look at that. There you go. That's what's left. We're going to throw that away, and we're going to throw the greens away, and we're going to throw our cauliflower in there. And it's in nice sized chunks, just like that. If they're too big, you take and break them up a little bit. Actually, you can take and cut them right in half, just like that. Throw them in there. Oh, they're perfect sized right there, so we're going to put them just like that. There you go. Nice. Alright, now, let's check our onions real quick. And our garlic. Oh yeah. Them are getting nice and tender. They are not getting brown. They are not browning up. And we do not want them to be brown. If they do get brown, we don't want them too brown. Top right back on that. Now our spices, let me get that wiped up a little bit. We're going to add our spices all together right now into a bowl. Okay? And what we got going in here is our cilantro, okay? We have a teaspoon of the cilantro going in. So we're going to put a teaspoon right in there. A heaping teaspoon. There we go. There's that. Top right back on that. Put it over there. Ground cumin is what we want for this. I have cumin seeds because I prefer the seeds in there, but cumin, if you got ground cumin, use it. And we're only going to put a 1/4 teaspoon in here. Just a 1/4 teaspoon. Throw that right in there. Just enough spice to this. There's not a lot of spice, just enough. Now we're going to use some ground ginger powder in this, okay? And what I put is a 1/4 teaspoon. Just a 1/4 teaspoon. Very, very little. Okay, because we're going to be putting some fresh ginger into it also. Put that aside. And then I put a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper in there. Just like that. There we go. And I don't use pepper in very many of my dishes, as you know from watching my shows, but this I do. And then we're putting 2 teaspoons heaping of all-purpose flour in there. Okay? And we're going to take our fresh ginger and we are going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh, okay? All we want. Now I took my ginger and I peeled it. Some people don't use the peel, they'll use the whole thing. But we only want a 1/4 teaspoon. And that's about a 1/4 teaspoon right there. There you go. A little bit more. Alright, there's a 1/4 teaspoon. So we're going to put that right in there. Look at that. Nice. Ooh, I like the smell of fresh ginger. Like the smell of that. Get the rest of it off the table in there. Now that's a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ginger. Okay, and that's right in our mix. We'll take and mix that all up, right with our flour. Just like that. Just like that. There we go. Okay, we'll put that aside. Let's check our onions, see how tender they're getting. Oh yeah, they're tendering up nice right there. That's nice right there. We need to go maybe 5 more minutes. They're just starting to brown a little bit. And when we get them done, I'll show you just what we got, what you're looking for. All right, our onions have got to be ready. Oh yeah, they're ready. They are ready. Let's scope this out a little bit. They're just starting to brown, and they're nice and tender. They're not brown too much, and this is what we want. Let me pick her up and show the camera. This is what we want right here. Camera, get a good glimpse of that. Now they're just starting to brown. We don't want to go any farther than that, because what we do now is we put our 2 cups of pre-cooked brown rice right in here. Put that right into the mix, and we stir that right in. Put that right over there, and we get this stirred right into the mix. Just like this. Mix it right up. And we've got our Presto on 250 still. Just like that. Now that we've got that all mixed up, we're going to put our spices right in there. We're going to mix our spices right into this. Okay? Make sure your flours and spices are all stirred together real good. Then we're just going to mix that right in. Just like that. Just like that. And then we're going to stir that in. Oh, smell that ginger. Ginger and garlic. What a mix. Love it. So mix this all up into the rice. Just like this. And we're going to bring this up to about let me get that mixed here. We're going to bring this back up to about 225 real quick. Just like that. We're actually going to start browning this a little bit, but not too much. I'm not putting any liquids in this. I'm going to put top right back on that. Okay. While that's coming up, we're going to get us a bigger dish over here. About that size right there so everything fits into it. We're going to set that down. We're going to put our eggplant in here. Put our eggplant across the bottom like this. Just spreading it out. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to put our peppers. We're going to mix them right in there. Throw them around. We're going to break that cauliflower up a little bit more. Put our cauliflower in here. Mix our peppers. Spread everything out. Just mix it and spread it. Now, you're going to notice this is going to start heaping up out of your plate, or your casserole dish. Everything will cook down in this except for the cauliflower. The cauliflower will cook down in this also to a certain point. Okay? That's how that goes, right there like that. There you go. Spread it out. Now let's check our rice stuff. I'm not going to throw this on Mama Tuck picture up. That get all over the place. Alright, let's check our mix. Ooh, does that ever smell good? I can smell the ginger and the garlic and the onions all mixed up there. Very, very nice. Okay, we're going to turn this off. And what we do with this is we put this right on top of our casserole dish. Let me turn this off. And we're going to put this right on top. Just like this. Covering everything up. Now this is really, really good in a Dutch oven if you have a Dutch oven. I have a cast iron Dutch oven, but it's packed away. I got to break it out. So we're just going to put this into a casserole dish. Just get one that fits. And it goes in the oven on 350. I'll show you that in a minute. But it goes in the oven on 350 for 50 to 60 minutes. Everything's got to cook down in it. And what you're after here is, while it's in the oven, your chicken and your vegetables that we put in there raw will cook. Basically, when the chicken is done, like I say, 50 or 60 minutes, this dish is ready to serve. Look at all that rice in there. Look at that. And this is good. This is good for you. Nice brown rice in there. Look at that. There we go. Get all the rice. The onions. Oh my God, does that ever smell good? I can smell that ginger in there. I keep saying that. Okay, then we got our chicken. Let's put this aside. Make sure your Presto's off. And we're going to get our chicken pieces in there. Open that right up. Pop our chicken over the top of this. Just like that. And like I said, I got about 2.5 pounds of chicken here. Okay. You know, per package. So you got about 4 pounds of chicken here. And you can use thighs, you can use drumstick, you can use whatever. I've got some with the skin on. It's going to give me a little oils cooking down into this, keep it moist. But I'm going to put that right over the top of it. And what we're going to do is cover this up with the aluminum foil. Shiny side towards the food. Remember that, all you new cooks out there, and some of you old cooks. Shiny side always reflects to the food, and it helps cook quicker. Helps keep the heat in. So I'm going to go over and wash my hands, but this is what this is looking like right now. Let me hold that up, get the camera. This casserole dish is packed right up, and we can easily feed anywhere from 6 to 8 people with this. Okay? And this is delicious, and it isn't even cooked, and I can smell that. Oh my God, does that ever smell good? So I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350, and then I'll show you what we do. We throw it right in there and cook it up. Yeah! It's time to put the tomatoes and the chickpeas into this. So in your same bowl that you did your rice in, open up your can of chickpeas. Okay, we got the easy pop top. We're going to get the juices out of here, so I'm going to pour them right out. Because I just want the peas going in there. Okay, there's that can of chickpeas. And that is a 15-ounce can that we put in there. Okay, now we're going to put our diced tomatoes in there. I got to open that can up. And I got a can opener here somewhere, but I have no idea what the camera crew did with my can opener.
It's on the stove.
There. Thank you, camera crew. So, we'll open this up and pour this right in. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Pour this into the mix. Now, these are diced tomatoes, and I put a 28-ounce can in here. 28-ounce can. I'm thinking about it like a ruler here. Oh, then we put our yogurt in here, and this is a low-fat yogurt. And again, I like to use Greek yogurt, and this is just a plain yogurt. I mean, you can put flavors into this too. And we're going to put a half of this in because we only want 8 ounces, okay? So we're going to mix about a half of this yogurt into here. Just like that. Just like that. And we're going to stir this up. Get this out of the way. Stir this up. Get everything mixed up here. There we go. Look at that. Okay. And then this gets poured right over our mix. And our oven is coming up to temperature. We're preheating. And we will put that, let me get this over here like this. Throw that can over there for Mama Tuck to clean up. Yeah! I gotta love it. You put our little mix right up here. And we're going to pour this right in, right over the top. Just like this. Try to stir that in a little bit. Just like that. We're going to stir that in because we're heaping. We are heaping here. And we don't want it falling out of our pan while it's cooking. Look at that. Okay. There we go. Just like that. Nice, huh? Move some of that down there a little bit this way. Like that. Put the rest of our juice in there. Just like that. Pull that baby out. And like I say, this is awesome in a Dutch oven. Look at that. I'm probably going to do some Dutch oven cookings outside the old-fashioned way, because I got a really nice cast iron Dutch oven that is awesome on an open fire in the backyard. And we will do some of that this summer. Get that mixed in so it gets down into that rice. There we go. You want that cooking right down into the rice. And this helps flatten this out a little bit so it don't overcook in my oven. Because this baby's heaping. And like I said, as this cooks and comes up to temperature, my ingredients in this are going to cook down. Everything except in the cauliflower, but they'll cook down a little bit too. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is cover this baby up with aluminum foil and get it into the oven. Flatten it down a little bit more. Work it, work it, work it. Yeah! I love it. My God, does that ever smell good? This is a very, very, very good meal. Okay, let's, oh, we're spilling out over here a little bit. We want that right down in there. Pay close attention to that. We want our juices down in. We don't want them coming out as this baby's cooking. Just like that. Because this baby's full. There we go. Now we're going to cover it up. We're going to cover it up. Our oven is coming up. We'll get that baby right in there. We're going to put our foil on there. We're going to start to one side. Just like this. Just like that. We're going to tuck it down over our handles. And we're actually going to take another piece of foil and come from the other side up. So let's do that. There we go. Just like this. Not going over all the way because we want to fold it over the side. Now it goes into the oven, like I said, at 350. 50 to 60 minutes on the center rack of your oven. Okay? And you're going to want a good 50 to 60 minutes. And we'll actually check it at about 50 minutes. Okay? So let's get that baby into the oven. And shut her up. And let her cook. And we'll check that 50 minutes from now. All right. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. I had a little bit longer than 60 minutes because I had a lot of chicken in here. That's the secret. You want to get this chicken down so it's nice and tender and white through. You want it cooked all the way through. But check this out. Oh my God, does that ever look good? Yeah! See if we get the camera on a close-up on this one without spilling it all over. Because remember, we didn't put any juices in here whatsoever. All these juices, and this thing is like 3/4 full of juice. It's all from the veggies that cooked in there. And oh my God, does that ever smell good? Let me tip that just a little bit to the juices. How's that right there? Just getting ready to dump out. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? God, oh, smells delicious. So, we better turn the oven off. Okay, and let's see what this looks like. Look at that. My God, does that ever smell good? Dig right down in here and get some of these veggies out and the rice. Look at that. Get some of them red peppers. There you go. Now there's one heck of a meal to feed your family. Oh my God, is it ever good too. And this isn't so spicy. We didn't put a lot of spice in this. You know, so, like some of the other Indian dishes are really spicy. But you can control that with the, you know, your red pepper and things of that nature. Just cut back on a little bit. But let's try this. Oh my God, does that look good. And remember, when you're out there in them stores, put some food in the food pantry boxes. Oh my God, does that smell good. Mmm. Oh, is that good. Cut into that chicken. Look at that. That is nice and white on the inside. And that's what you want. It's nice and tender. It's nice and moist. Oh my God. I gotta try that chicken. Well, Indian chicken with the chickpea there. Totally awesome. Yeehaw! That's good stuff. Do it up. Go to my website. I'll put this up there so you can copy and paste it. And remember, you did this in your kitchen. We'll see you later.